All right, then we live. Let's get it. What's good with y'all, man? Lesson 7 of Cyclomancy, the secret of psychic power control. Peace be to the gods on earth. This is another episode in the series of the live of the podcast slash audio book series that is Cyclomancy, the secret of psychic power control, where we will be going over the entire text from lesson 1 all the way to the final lesson, which is lesson 20. Currently, we are on in this live lesson 7. And lesson 7 is how never to get tired by putting your muscle tone under psychic power control. You'll feel me. So, with that being said, man, we're going to get straight into it. And like all my people who's been watching the series before of the Cyclomancy audiobook slash podcast series that I'm doing, you know that as I read the book, there's times where I may stop to give maybe like a note or some background on what he's saying or give some form of interpretation from that the spirit is giving me or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So all my people who's on TikTok, who's watching me on a TikTok live right now, I'm live on my YouTube channel, which is JBenzTheLight. The link is in my bio in my TikTok profile. So if you want to read along the book with me and probably hear some better audio from, from the mic type shit or whatever on my YouTube channel, then tap into my YouTube channel, man, JBenzTheLight. You know what I mean? And also if you want to look at the past episodes that I've did on Cyclomancy, then all of those on my YouTube channel too. You can watch them anytime you want. And make sure y'all leave a like, comment, and subscribe too. So you can help me with the algorithm, help me grow my page, help me with my work, help me grow my platform, and you know what I'm saying, help me get that message out to the people. You feel me? But I just get into it, man. All right, so lesson 7, how never to get tired by putting your muscle tone under psychic power control. How to keep yourself generally fit. Lack of using your muscles may cause facial adhesions of the covering of the muscles, and that creates fat deposits. It is an important reason why you should exercise your body regularly. Strenuous or competitive exercise is not important. Isometric contractions back up the blood into the heart and are therefore not recommended here. Exercises that are more rhythmical, continue longer, and which contract and extend your muscles fully and repeatedly are the ones that break down facial adhesions, wear off your fat deposits, and strengthen your heart. Strenuous exercises can be maintained for too short a period of time to achieve those goals. The same applies to isometric contractions. An isometric contraction or isometric workout is when say for example if you want to pull ups and you pull yourself up and you just hold it at the top, that would be considered an isometric movement when you just hold it like that, when you hold it at the area where the most tension is at. You know what I'm saying? Cyclomancy, the secret of psychic power control, not being a course in bodybuilding. References here will be limited to the kind of exercises with which you are already familiar. If you are younger, lifting heavier barbells, powerful swimming, and hard running are ideal for your muscles rhythmically, for strengthening your respiratory muscles and increasing blood circulation through your lungs. If you are older, these same exercises done with correspondingly less resistance or power will suffice. Rhythmic swimming and bicycle riding are excellent for middle-aged people of both sexes. If you do not if you do no other exercise and if your physician approves, walk at least 1 hour a day at a brisk pace, but never stand on your feet longer than you can help it. All right. That part, I got to talk about that. My man just said if your physician approves, son. I think it was Dick Gregory. Was it Dick Gregory that I seen say this shit? I think it was Dick Gregory I seen say this shit. I can't remember who it was. But that part about, yo, if your physician approves, son, do you go and consult your physician before you motherfucking drink some Henny, nigga? Like, do you go and consult your physician before you get drunk as fuck and go to the club? Or before you smoke some weed? Or before you goddamn do some coke, nigga? Like, like, disclaimer, I don't do no drugs. I mean, I smoke a little ganja and shit, but like, I don't do no drugs, though. You know what I mean? But anyways, like, do you go to your doctor and be like, yo, doctor, should I get drunk as fuck tonight? Like, if you don't do that, then why are you gonna go to a doctor to be like, yo, is it cool if I go and work out? Like this shit, to me, that shit retarded. But I mean, who won't? But shit, whatever. Anyways, if you try a little now and then, so much the better. And deep breathe when you try. And also do exercises to massage your abdominal viscera and build up a corset of muscles around your waist. Keep your waist lean and squeeze out the stagnant pool of blood that accumulates in the mesenteric blood vessels when your waist is not exercised regularly. Allow your hands to something don't turn stiff and flabby and feel prematurely old. Feel young and flexible in your body, and it will spread reflexly to your mind. Torturous static exercises are not advocated either. Lasting benefits to repeat are obtained with motion exercises. Torturous static exercises may teach you discipline, but they are not advised. Leave them for the yogi adepts. The yogi adepts, as in those, you know, essentially people who walk the spiritual path and are dedicated to it and, have been doing it for such a certain amount of time to the point where they've gained a certain skill and mastery of whatever of the spiritual practice that they're doing and stuff. You know what I mean? Also, when it comes to being a yogi or being like a person who's on the spiritual path, understand something that it's like this. And I'm about to make a separate video about this too. That essentially your being is divided into three main things, which would be your thinking, your feelings, and then there's your actions. You know what I'm saying? So it's understanding that with that being, that's essentially all that we are, or at least that's just how you express yourself. That's your consciousness. It's your thinking, how you think, how you feel, and then how you act. You know what I mean? And now obviously there's different aspects to those three things, but those are like the main three, right? That's it. So with that being said, it's understanding that when you on the spiritual path, the spirit part of the spiritual path is understanding how to tap in, understand, and master those three aspects of yourself. You know what I mean? Your thinking, how you think, what goes on in your head, how you feel, and then how you act. You know what I mean? Like you understand you have certain imbalances in one area. You may have an imbalance in one area, and maybe be good in another. Like you may be a person who got all these ideas in their head. Like you have just a great philosophical mind. You're a good thinker. Like your mind is you like that. You cool like that. But then you never put in action, or you have a problem putting in action. You always procrastinate and putting off until next year what should have been done yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. So it's just like identifying those imbalances you may have is key, as well as understanding that another way to put it instead of thinking, acting, and feeling is that the three aspects of your being could also be looked at as like mental, physical, and spiritual, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? As in it's understanding that one must cultivate themselves in all aspects of their being to be a fully, holistic being type of thing. Type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you could be spiritual, you could be an adept in the spiritual world, you know what I mean? Have a great mind, but then if you some fat motherfucker can't move, can't freaking lift your arms above your head, can't do a push up, can't run down the block, you know what I'm saying? And you just goddamn creating an earthquake with every step you take, then that in and of itself is going to largely affect and take away from your performance as a being and stuff. And you could probably think of a different example for your mental or your spiritual and all that. Do you have any book recommendations for this type of information? Um, for this type of information, like on this, like practical, I my interpretation of that question is like, do you have any book recommendations for like a practical instruction on how to understand different things about your mind or your spirit? And for that, I would say texts like There's this one book called Kriya Yoga. I can't remember the name of the author, but there's a book called Kriya Yoga. That's a good one. That'll teach you different yoga asanas, yoga poses, and different things about yoga that will not only help you to be more flexible and more fit physically, but also tap you in more with your God self. Um, besides that, oh, this is a good book right here. Oh no, I don't have it with me. But there's this book called this. It's an encyclopedia rather. It's called Subtle Body. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up right here. Wait a minute. It's why y'all gotta watch me on the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Because on the you if you this is a very good text right here. This text called Subtle Body, an encyclopedia of your energetic anatomy by Cindy Dale. Yeah. Yeah, Subtle Body, an encyclopedia of your energetic anatomy by Cindy Dale. That's one of the greatest. That's one of that book right there, Subtle Body, an encyclopedia of your energetic anatomy by Cindy Dale. One of the greatest books that you could read for like practical information, like a full 360-degree knowledge in like your energetic body, your ethereal body, different like reflexology, mudras, chakras, kundalini. Like this book got everything in it, man. It's a fire ass book for real, right here. But all right, let's continue. All your voluntary muscles, those which you use at will, show some degree of tonus. But tonus, okay, I don't know what tonus is. We gotta look that up. I don't know what the fuck that is. Tonus, the constant low level activity of a body tissue, especially muscle tone. Tonus, a state of partial contraction characteristic of normal muscle. A state of partial contraction. He said all voluntary muscles, those which you use at will, show some degree of tonus. Okay, tonus or partial contraction. All right, but tonus is especially pronounced in your anti-gravity muscles, or those which maintain your posture. These, in the main, are the extensor muscles of the lower limbs, trunk, and neck. That is why standing is more fatiguing than walking. When you walk, you contract and relax your leg muscles with each step, but when you stand, your leg muscles remain partially contracted continuously. Cool weather, too, braces you up, while hot, moist weather curses you with a feeling of lassitude. I don't know what that means either. Look that up. Lassitude. Y'all got to be doing this too, man. Whenever y'all see a word, whenever y'all reading something, and y'all see a word y'all don't know, y'all got to look that shit up immediately. Don't just pass the motherfucker. Like, you got to look it up immediately. You know what I mean? Because one word, you got to, like, one word, as a thing about language, one word in a sentence can change up the entire intention or meaning of it. Like, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Okay, so lassitude, a condition of weariness or debility, or a condition characterized by lack of interest, energy, or all right. So cold weather too braces you up, while hot, moist weather curses you with a feeling of lassitude. I wouldn't say that shit, nigga. Shit. I don't know who he talking to. Like he ain't talking to black people, cause shit, nigga. Black people get in the sun, we get in the hot ass weather, we get lit. What is you talking? This nigga, he must be talking to some white people or something. Like man said, being in the hot weather gonna make you feel. My man said in the book, being in a hot weather feel a condition characterized by lack of interest, energy, or debility. Being in the hot weather, we get lit. Fuck you mean? This nigga tweaking. Anyway, That is due to your gaining or losing muscle tone. See now how much muscle tone affects your frame of mind and your overall feeling of vigor and ambition. You can also diminish your muscle tone at will in order to harness your energy for psychic power, gaining or losing muscle tone. See now how much muscle tone affects your frame of mind and your overall feeling of vigor and ambition. You can also diminish your muscle tone at will in order to harness your energy for psychic power. Okay, I kind of understand what he's saying on one end because doing things like fasting, you know what I'm saying, and naturally losing all the weight or all the excess, I guess you should say, all the excess that you have in your body is what will bring you closer to God or bring you closer to the spirit and increase your psychic abilities. But my man said diminish your muscle tone. Uh 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 I don't agree with that for the simple fact that working out and getting muscle, putting on muscle on your body is one of the greatest things you could do for your mind, body, and spirit. Like getting a fit, healthy, strong body that can endure and can fucking climb mountains and climb tall ass trees and stuff. Nigga, what? You know what I mean? But anyways, how your body creates muscle tone. When the tendon of a muscle in your body, say your biceps, is pulled upon by gravity or by the contraction of an oppositely pulling muscle, say your triceps, your bicep contracts and resists further stretching. But the stretching of its tendon also stimulates your biceps and it sends a message to your spinal cord. There, the message stops instead of going on to your brain, and your spinal cord delivers a command to your biceps to contract still more. That contraction is called the myotatic reflex. When the tendon of the biceps is stretched for a long time and the resulting contraction is also long, that is called muscle tone. When you get up after a long sleep or rest, do you notice how comparatively small and soft your calf muscles are and how much bigger and harder they become after you stand for some time? It is because when you first get up, they possess comparatively little muscle tone, for they have hardly been stretched for hours. After you have stood for a while, though, and your calf muscles have been stretched, they are markedly bigger and harder. You are not being advised to stand for long periods of time. You are only being shown how muscle tone departs and returns to you without any special effort on your part. An empty stomach increases your muscle tone by allowing more blood to fill your muscles, since it is not needed to assimilate the digested food. But hunger, as well as an overloaded stomach, reduces your muscle tone by drawing too much blood away from your muscles to carry on digestion and assimilation. In order to perform best athletically and also to use your muscles best for psychic power, you should compete with an empty but not a starved stomach. Hey yo, he's spitting facts on that one though, because doing things like going on a fast and working out fasted, like lifting weights or doing calisthenics while fasted, one of the greatest things you could do for yourself in terms of your fitness. You know what I'm saying? Because low key, you realize when you a person that fast, I'm talking like going on 3 day fast, 7 day fast, 14, 30 day fast of just like water or just herbs and stuff like that, right? No solid food for real at all. Then you realize that when you go on an extended fast, you become naturally more energetic and naturally just stronger as a person. Now, I mean, like your muscle, if you work, this is if you're working out though, you got to be working out while you fast and stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you're working out and stuff while you're fasting, you go on an extended fast, then you're gonna notice that you're gonna have a large increase in your energy levels as well as a large increase in your strength. You're not really gonna feel hungry. And it sounds like such a contradiction that if you go like 2 weeks without eating anything, you're not gonna be hungry. Like it's facts because your body switches to an entirely different fuel source being ketones and stuff. You know what I mean? So your body, like you lose when you go on an extended fast, you lose your appetite, your growth hormone production increases in your body, like everything just becomes so much better. And it's a funny thing though about life is that when it comes to the body, doing nothing at all, as in like going on a fast, not eating, or if you're a person that indulges into like porn and shit and be beating your meat, be masturbating, or like having a lot of sex, like not having sex and not letting out your energy. Like if you a man, not letting out your seed. You know what I mean? Like just not doing these things. These are the things which bring you closer to God. You know what I'm saying? Literally, like not having sex, going on a long time, being celibate. Not letting out. If you a man, not letting out any seed for a very long time. I'm talking like at least 90 days type of thing. As well as going on an extended fast, like Jesus in the Bible, 40 days and 40 nights fasting. That's facts. Doing things like that bring you way closer to God. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't understand, you wouldn't be able to fully understand what I mean until you do it, until you experience it for yourself. So let's continue. Note, experiments by kinesiologists, it is true, have demonstrated that certain individuals perform best athletically with stomachs partly full or not too long following a meal. But this must be true only with individuals who possess a very high metabolic rate and who therefore digest their foods fast. Physiologists, on the other hand, have found that to exercise with a full stomach requires about 8% more effort from the heart than otherwise. To exercise with a loaded stomach then puts a strain on the heart. Depending on your metabolic rate, therefore, it is probably best not to commence exercising before 1.5 hours after a meal, and to end exercising no later than 2.25 hours after you start. Fatigue sets in otherwise and saps you of muscle tone fast. Shit, nigga. Me, I be working out sometimes. I be working out for like 3, 4 hours sometimes in the gym. Just like straight pull ups and push ups, calisthenic movements. I don't really lift as much weights anymore. I'm more so like a calisthenics guy. Be doing like weighted dips, weighted pull ups, weighted push ups and stuff. You know what I mean? Like handstand push ups. Well, not like handstand push ups, but more so like half one. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you like a pike push up, rather, I would say stuff like that. You know what I mean? Anyways, how much that SFC is only partially contracted during an effort and therefore cannot tire. Such reasoning would be contrary to all or none theory of muscle fiber contraction. But this is really what happens. Only a few fibers of your biceps contract fully at a time during the effort. When these tire, others contract. The more the muscle is stretched, though, or the heavier the weight or the greater the resistance it has to overcome, the more of its fibers contract at one time and the greater is muscle tone. Muscle tone in brief increases with the demand. Your muscle tone is vastly influenced by your mental state. Mental excitement affects it significantly. When you are happy and hopeful, your face muscles are toned up. Your shoulders are drawn up and your step is firm. When you are overburdened with worry or grief, your face falls or you are down in the mouth. Animals are similarly affected. Facts. Facts. That's what people mean when they say oh, like if you feeling away and somebody coming to you like, oh yo, like why the long face? That's what they mean. Like your face fall, like you looking like you wearing depression on your face, like you know what I mean? Like everything about you, your entire being shows up in how you express yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. The way you talk, the way you walk, the sound of your voice, the frequency of your voice, uh, your face, your eyes, especially your eyes. Like you can look into a person's eyes, you kind of can know everything about their state of being just by looking into their eyes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? When engaged in exertion, demanding physical exertion, when engaged in demanding physical endurance, You can delay the onset of fatigue by maintaining just enough muscle tone throughout to keep you in action. Achieve that by sending a psychic power rocket, aka will, to your conscious mind, commanding it that you are not tired and assuring it that you can accomplish the endurance feat. AKA tell your mind, nah, nigga, we gonna keep motherfucking going, bugging out. Your conscious mind will immediately relax some of the fibers of the muscles involved so that they regain part of the energy. The stronger the command, the more relax and the more energy you will regain. You are not being encouraged, of course, to attempt an endurance feat for which you are neither trained nor fit. You might still achieve it, but you might also strain yourself seriously. Psychic masters train for years before tackling feats requiring miraculous endurance, but they train not only their muscles and their lungs, but their minds as well. Exercise. How is this book? What is this book called? This book is called Cyclomancy, The Secret of Psychic Power Control. Exercises to prolong your muscle tone with a psychic power control. Exercise 1. If your heart is normal, trot outside for a block or two. When you feel tired, send a psychic power rocket, aka will, to your conscious mind, commanding it that you are not tired. And continue trotting for another half block. If that is too easy for you, run faster. A 2 block sprint at top speed will exhaust anybody, so you don't have to sprint far. Exercise 2, repeat exercise 1. This time, send another psychic power rocket to your conscious mind, commanding it that you are not tired. Then apply this psychic arc by thinking of something else you enjoy so that you absolutely forget how tired you really are. At once, many muscle fibers of your exhausted muscles will relax and you will regain more and more endurance. Exercise 3. As you get stronger, continue doing exercise 2 and gradually run as far as an extra block when tired and at the same pace. Exercise 4. Repeat exercise 1. This time, send another psychic power rocket, aka will, to your conscious mind, commanding it that you are not tired. Exercise 4. Repeat exercise 1. This time, send another psychic power rocket to your conscious mind, commanding it that you are not tired. Exercise 5. These exercises not only build up your heart but are excellent for developing muscle tone control. They can be done with swimming, skating, climbing stairs, walking, chinning the bar, weightlifting with high reps, waist reducing exercises with any effort, whatever which may tire you in a comparatively short time. How to overcome awkwardness with selective muscle tone control. Selective muscle tone control is invaluable to you in everyday life, for it can help you overcome stubborn and undesirable physical habits. The physical cause of awkwardness, for example, is due to too much muscle tone existing between the flexor and extensor muscles of the part or parts being used in the movement. You try to make a certain move and not to make it at the same time. You have to learn how to select the necessary muscle tone for the muscles you wish to use, but simultaneously repress the hindering muscle tone of the muscles you don't wish to use. I understand exactly what he's saying. He's saying, like, essentially, what he's saying is to practice good form when you're working out. Because when you're practicing good form in the exercises that you're doing, then what the function of good form is to create the most tension in the muscles that are being targeted. You know what I mean? And to work the muscles being targeted as much as possible. You know what I mean? As well as to prevent muscle imbalances from occurring and also to keep yourself, you know what I mean, from getting injuries and stuff. Exercise 1. How to select specific muscle tone with psychic power control. In your room, try to do something safely which you are afraid to do. Try, say, to carry a saucer full of water across your room without spilling a drop. You will find yourself trying too hard at first, tightening both your flexor and extensor muscles at the same time, trembling and tiring fast. In order to spill no water from the saucer, send a psychic power command rocket, aka will, yourself to your muscle coordination center, ordering it to relax all the muscles being used except the ones necessary for the effort. Help it along by relaxing all the muscles of your hands and arms. You will instantly stop trembling and quietly continue carrying the filled saucer across the room. That is selective muscle tone control. Exercise 2. Repeat exercise 1 with other physical acts or skills which you fear to perform or which you don't do excellently. Not only will it uproot your different fears with them by putting them under selective muscle tone control, but it will train your conscious mind to cooperate in keeping you free from acquiring new fears and new skills which you try to learn, such as a new golfing stroke or a new job technique. The secrets of miraculous muscle endurance. A psychic master can overcome physical fatigue and run more than 100 miles without stopping. He does so partly, as you already know, by prolonging his muscle tone indefinitely, but that is only part of it. Here is the other part. A nerve fiber never fatigues because it quickly unelectrifies itself after a message or command passes along its length. A muscle, though, does tire by accumulating intermediate or final waste products like carbon dioxide, lactic acid, pyruvic acid, acid phosphates, etc. It also grows deficient in energy furnishing materials like sugar or glucose. And when it tires, it loses much protoplasmic irritability, much ability to convey muscle messages or commands, and much power to contract. Even while it is tiring, it both contracts and relaxes more slowly. By relaxing more slowly, it fails to stretch back out to its full length before it contracts again and therefore remains in a contracture. That is an early sign of fatigue. To avoid muscle fatigue, obviously, you have to prevent the fatigue substances from accumulating in your exercise muscle and also to provide the muscle with energy furnishing materials. Normally, deep breathing or using your lungs removes most of your fatigue substances, and your kidneys and your sweat glands remove the rest. But your lungs and kidneys can't remove them fast enough when you exercise strenuously or vigorously. So they accumulate and you get tired and exhausted. A muscle, however, does not fatigue nearly as quickly as you believe. The nerve gaps along the nerve pathway which send commands to that muscle are what fatigue much faster, and the muscle then fails to respond as vigorously to stimulation. To greatly increase your muscle endurance, you have to overcome the fatigue at the nerve gaps. Exercise. How to regain your energy fast when fatigued. You are engaged in some kind of exertion. It might even be part of your work. Your back is tired, your legs tired, your shoulders feel as if they weigh a ton. You even feel groggy. Your muscles are soaked with fatigue accumulating products, and your nerve gaps are clogged with sympathin. Every move you make now feels exhausting, particularly if the effort happens to be strenuous or long continued. You feel slow, clumsy, and awkward. Your reflexes are delayed because your nerve gaps are flooded with sympathin, which stubbornly retards any stimulation that tries to bridge them. Sympathin. We're going to look that up too. All right, hold up. Sympathin, a substance word. My brother right here said, my stamina is the lowest it's ever been. Can you give me some tips on building it back up? Run every single day. That's it. Run every day, bro. Run every single day. I'm talking like if you run like set a goal that you gonna run a mile, for example. Run a mile and do not stop until you're done. Don't quit like a bitch. Just run and do not quit. Don't your mind may tell you may be breathing dummy hard and your muscles may be like, oh fuck, I'm tired and all that. Your mind and your body may be screaming at you, bro, let's just chill. Let's just stop. Let's fucking quit. Nah, bro. You gotta override that and just finish it out anyway and just deal with the suffering that comes with it due to you uh being fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Not having good stamina, not having good cardiovascular health. You know what I mean? And if you do that, then consistently like run every single day or at least like 4 or 5 times a week, you do that consistently, then next thing you know, what you're gonna find is you're gonna be a mile after a while is gonna feel like a warm up. It's not gonna feel like nothing. You're gonna feel good. You're gonna, you know what I mean, you're gonna be running a mile faster and faster and faster after a while. After a while, it's not gonna feel like nothing. Then you could start running 2 miles and then 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just start and don't stop and just be consistent and don't quit on yourself. That's it. You know what I mean? Easy. Let's continue. Actually, your muscles are by no means as weary as they feel. It is only that the new stimulations cannot reach them easily. If the stimulations could only cross the nerve gaps faster and reach the muscle reflexes would accelerate and you will get your second wind. You can remedy the situation by reducing or displacing that abnormal accumulation of sympathin at your nerve gaps. The most effective way is the all over psychic arc combined with energizing breathing. Just think of the juicy steak and intensify repeatedly your vivid picture of it until it spreads through your whole nervous system. Immediately thereafter, breathe deeply as you continue with your exertions and saturate your body with electrons. Then drive a psychic power command rocket from your psychic power center to all your muscles, ordering them to again be just as strong as when you started the exertions. They will respond instantly to the command, and you will feel as if you have been reborn after a sound reset. A muscle, though, still fatigues when it accumulates enough fatigue products. You therefore have to remove the fatigue products from the muscle quickly, or it will still fatigue. Below are 3 ways and means for doing so. The 3 ways and means of removing quickly your muscle accumulating fatigue products. If you can remove the fatigue products from your muscles as fast as they accumulate, you would never get tired. To accomplish that, of course, is impossible, but the psychic master can do it to such an efficient degree that for all practical purposes, he can be said to remove them altogether. How does he do it? 1. First of all, he develops a gigantic rib box or a rib box capable of phenomenal expansion. The more air or oxygen he can supply the venous blood in his lungs with each intake of breath, the faster he can rid himself of fatigue products. Commencing as late as 15 or 16 years of age with chest expanding breathing exercises for no less than 1 hour a day, a half hour in the morning and a half hour at night, he can increase his chest measurement through rib box expanding alone as much as 4 inches within 4 to 6 months, or as much as 7 inches within 1 year, and as much as 13 inches in 10 years. He succeeds then in expanding his rib box to the point where his chest at the armpits measures as much normal as expanded, and at the level of his navel he can expand it still 4 inches or more. With such a rib box, the psychic master can inflate his lungs abnormally, oxygenate his blood with amazing rapidity, and rid himself swiftly of carbon dioxide, the important accumulating waste. Number 2. Second, by excelling at muscle tone withdrawal, he can relax his muscles fully between contractions. Thus, he prevents or retards, astonishingly, the onset of the contracture stage. Number 3. Third, by mastering muscle rhythm, he throws his active or exercising body into such perfect movement ease that his breathing and his motions occur in concert, enabling him to rid himself of accumulating fatigue substances as fast as they are formed. Unless your muscle is injured or strained, it will not tire if it does not accumulate fatigue products and if fed the necessary energy furnishing materials. These three ways and means will now be explained in detail so that you can learn them and use them and practically never get tired. First way and means the wonders of fatigue delaying breathing. The psychic master takes deep, bursting breaths with his gigantic rib box and oxygenates an amazing amount of blood in his lungs swiftly. Such deep breathing does not exhaust him because he has deep breathed for years and his muscles of respiration are powerfully developed. The vital capacity of the lungs, the volume of air which you exhale most forcibly following your most complete inhalation, varies in a normal person, as you already know, between 2,500 to slightly over 6,000 cubic centimeters. The psychic master, however, with a rib box at least 1/6 bigger than the average physically developed person and 32% bigger than the average normal person, has a vital capacity of at least 7,000 cc's. If the average person possesses a vital capacity of only 4,000 cc, it is clear how much better supplied with oxygen are the lungs of the psychic master with a vital capacity of more than 7,000 cc. With this abnormal power of deep breathing increased by purposeful deep breathing during the violent exercise, the psychic master also increases remarkably the atmospheric pressure in his lungs, or the force with which he drives the air into his lungs when he inhales. This increased pressure forces still more oxygen into his blood, and the more oxygen he forces into it, the more carbon dioxide fatigue accumulation product he drives out of it into the air which he breathes out. When you walk at the rate of 5 miles per hour, which of course is fast walking, you increase the amount of air you breathe from about 7 liters per minute to nearly 50. The maximum air available in your lungs per minute is 80 liters for men and 50 for women. Such titanic breathing, though, can be maintained only for a few seconds. But the psychic master, by enlarging his rib box an average of 30% more than the moderately developed and the undeveloped man combined, can make available to his lungs at least 114 liters of air per minute. By being able, besides, to continue doing it for some time, due to his superbly developed muscles of respiration, particularly his diaphragm, he can add that extra supply of air much longer than they. That is why he can perform miracles of physical endurance. Finally, by taking such deep breaths, the psychic master retains his body heat or his energy for a comparatively long time instead of dissipating it speedily in the swift gasp of the rapid, shallow breather. He requires, as a result, less fuel to feed his entire body and saves it to feed his muscles. That is how he lives on nothing during an amazingly long and drawn out physical strain, such as running 100 miles without a pause. That is also why he can endure freezing temperatures with his body naked, his pores closed tightly then to retain his body heat, and with deep breathing, he requires less fuel to heat his body. Exercise. How to develop an enormous rib box with the sitting Zembla for fatigue delaying breathing. The sitting Zembla is the best exercise for developing an enormous rib box. It is the same as the stooping Zembla, except that you do it sitting down. Deep breathing exercises performed when you are standing straight or with your arms above your head are not the best rib box inflators. In those positions, your abdominal muscles are stretched and they will pull your ribs back down towards your hips when you deep breathe instead of letting them expand outwards and upwards and to their utmost. So, practice the sitting Zembla for several minutes every morning soon after getting up, and also before going to bed at night. If your stomach feels empty, practice it no less than half an hour a day, and not less than 15 minutes at a time. When stretched repeatedly for at least 15 minutes at a time, your rib box stretches more extensively in circumference than when you do so for only a few minutes at a time. If possible, engage in a little exercise before doing a sit-in Zembla, such as running in one spot for 20 seconds or doing about 10 deep knee bends while supporting yourself against something, so as to avoid alkalemia. Since most people's systems are too acid, temporary alkalemia will probably do them a lot of good. Note, at any age you can enlarge your rib box with the sitting Zembla. Enlarging it is not primarily a matter of growing longer ribs, but of raising your ribs and thereby separating their curving bodies farther from each other. By developing your muscles of respiration with the sitting Zembla, they grow stronger, raise the bodies of your ribs higher, and maintain them in a higher position even at rest. More important, therefore, it is how much time you spend doing the sit-in Zembla each day, and how completely you expand your lungs with each deep breath. Your ribs are attached to movable joints, and they can be moved until you stop living. Anybody at any age, if in sound enough health, can do the sit-in Zembla and enlarge his rib box to its lasting benefit. The great advantage of the sit-in Zembla is that it enables you easier to feel the roots of your lungs, which extend upwards into your shoulders, as well as the broad bases of your lungs, which sit below upon your diaphragm. All of that increases your total lung capacity still more. By stretching your spine repeatedly as you inhale to capacity while doing the sit-in Zembla, you straighten your back and increase your height permanently. Second way and means how to excel at muscle tone withdrawal. By excelling at muscle tone withdrawal, you conserve your energy and add immensely to your endurance. You do that directly from your conscious and subconscious minds. High centers in them can control your muscle tone. That's why relaxation is mentally induced. When your muscle sends a message calling for muscle tone, it increases the first nerve gap in your spinal cord. Commands from your conscious and subconscious minds meet it there, where they can either increase or decrease the resultant tonic discharge that will consequently be delivered across another nerve gap as a command to the muscle. You can multiply either of these effects, of course, with psychic power command rockets sent to that that second nerve gap, ordering it to do so. Why is muscle tone withdrawal necessary to add immensely to your physical endurance? It is necessary because after using your muscles and repeating the same movement for some time, as you do in any sport or physical activity that tires you, the muscles involved finally cramp. Cramp is just too much muscle tone, and the nearer your muscles are to cramping, the more tired they feel. That is, unless they are cramping following prolonged exposure to cold or from abnormal loss of body salt during excessive heat. The longer you can hold off the cramp, the longer your endurance will last. The psychic master has practiced and acquired psychic power control over the muscle tone inhibiting centers in his conscious and subconscious minds, and he can relax so thoroughly after each time he uses his muscles that it is virtually impossible for him to get tired. His muscles do not tighten up on him, but relax completely after each contraction, no matter how frequently he repeats any particular movement. In that way, he avoids fatigue. He even avoids nerve gap fatigue. Exercises for developing psychic power controlled muscle tone. Exercise 1. Pick up a weight or chin yourself on a bar. Lifting a light weight is preferable to chinning yourself because unless you are trim, you will need considerable strength to chin yourself all the way up. Chin yourself as in do like a chin up. I mean, like a chin up on a bar. If you are past middle age and not in the best condition, sit down and raise your arms straight up from your sides to slightly above shoulder level. Repeat the movement until you are tired. Don't do it standing up. Cyclomancy stubbornly opposes unnecessary standing. Standing is the great energy waster. Interesting. As you lower your arms or your own body if you chin, in either exercise, relax completely. Do not let your arms or your body if you chin down slowly and tensely. As you grow tired, it will be more and more difficult for you to relax completely each time you lower your arms or your body, and a feeling of mounting fatigue will oppress you with each new repetition. So send intensified psychic power command rocket to your conscious and subconscious minds to relax the tightening muscles of your arms and both visualize and feel them relaxing. When raising your arms, do it with the least amount of energy. Before long, you won't be able to lift them or your body very high. finally you'll be able to lift them at all, or so you'll feel. Do this exercise for at least a week every other day. Then do exercise two. Exercise two. Repeat exercise one, but now from the very start, send your conscious mind a psychic power command rocket to raise the lightweight your body or your arms with the least energy possible, but at the same speed as before. Do this exercise just as perfectly as you did exercise one, but do it with less effort. It trains your conscious mind to discourage from the very commencement of any physical activity your building up of excessive muscle tone and hindering your best efforts. Do this exercise also for a week. Exercise 3. Combine exercises 1 and 2. Relax and discourage excessive motion exercise. You will discover by now that your endurance when performing this exercise has markedly increased. Even more important, your muscle tone control has been strikingly augmented. Endurance sports or exercises develop supreme muscle tone control. Exercise 4. Repeat exercises 1, 2, and 3 by running or with a deep knee bends or with any other safe exercise you know. They will bring you unusual muscle tone control as well as improve your heart, providing that your physician allows you to exercise. Exercises for muscle tone control of your heart and aid to longevity. Exercise 1. Do any exercise that leaves you breathing hard. Then, while stooped over, inflating your lungs to the full with the stooping Zembla to recuperate fast, send a psychic power command rocket to your heart to relax and shrink back to its normal size. Feel its accelerated beat slowing down to normal and easing its drive. The stooping Zembla, by supplying your heart with needed oxygen more quickly, helps it to decelerate and regain its normal size faster. But your psychic power command rocket and your feeling your heart return to normal also inhibits it through its cardio inhibitory center from maintaining excessive muscle tone and thus causes it to relax still faster. Exercise 2. While exercising vigorously now and growing tired, send the psychic power command rocket to your heart to slow down its beat and to shrink back to normal and feel it doing so. Take deep rhythmical breaths as you do this exercise. Exercise 3. Repeat exercise 2, but from the very start, send a psychic power command rocket to your heart to beat a little faster than when you were at rest, or just enough faster to supply your muscles with additional blood and oxygen and feel it doing so. Feel it in particular remaining flexible and relaxing completely between beats. Master all these exercises in order to control your heart muscle tone, your heartbeat, and your heart size during physical or emotional strain. It will help you as you grow older to postpone the possibilities of you suffering a heart attack. Don't let your heart run riot. Use psychic power command rockets to control it to help you live longer. Exercises to control muscle tone at will. Exercise 1. When you arise in the morning and feel soft and flabby all over, instantly send a psychic power command rocket to your conscious mind, ordering your whole body to feel firm and hard muscled all over, as if ready for any physical emergency. You will experience little success achieving this miracle at first, but persist. Before long, you will be surprised. Your muscles will feel hard, strong, and full bodied in less and less time as your psychic power command rocket grows in strength. Exercise 2. Repeat exercise 1. Repeat exercise 1. But this time, divest yourself of all muscle tone by sending several successive psychic power command rockets to yourself, timed 2 seconds apart, to turn soft and flabby all over and feel your muscles become so. A moment later, regain your muscle tone by sending yourself a second psychic power command rocket to turn hard muscle all over and feel your body doing so. Practice this exercise until you can lose or gain muscle tone at will, even when just sitting or lying down. Note, accumulation of lactic acid, a fatigue product in the muscles, causes them, as was stated before, not only to react less sharply, but also induces lethargy in the nerves that supply them. To be at your psychic and physical power best, then it is Better to maintain your blood more on the alkaline side. Shout out Dr. Sabi. Achieve that by doing the sit-in Zembla every morning for about 5 minutes or the horizontal ozona lying down. Third way and means how to master muscle rhythm. Muscle rhythm consists of perfecting your muscle coordination in the physical activity in which you are engaged. It means that your principal muscles, your antagonist muscles, and your stabilizing muscles blend their opposing contractions and relaxations so exactly with each other that you waste the least amount of energy in putting the brakes on your principal muscles or in stabilizing your supporting joints. The amount of energy which your body saves this way is unbelievable. You know yourself that it requires a much stronger braking to slow down a car when you stop it suddenly and completely than when you do so gradually. Muscle rhythm consists of your doing the movements of your activity with such perfect timing and routine that you soon form cerebral links in your subconscious mind of these movements. These, in turn, rule your muscle coordination center and synchronize all the muscles you are using so that they can act in unison with a minimum waste of energy. You achieve this by forming a sort of psychic union between your opposing and stabilizing muscles. If you are running or bicycle riding, for example, you move your legs at exactly the same speed and with exactly the same power with repetition after repetition so that the opposing and stabilizing muscles of your legs and body come to expect to repeat the same effort again and again at precisely the same interval and with precisely the same amount of energy. Long distance runners and sprinters do that during most of the race. They change their pace only when they suddenly coast slower or sprint more rapidly. But if they have some distance yet to go, they resume it again in order to conserve the energy they lost during their change of pace. The same applies to all other sports or activities in which you engage long enough to bring on weariness, fatigue, or exhaustion, and which require constant activity, be it swimming, walking, mountain climbing, tennis, water skiing, housekeeping, factory working, riding, typing, singing, dancing, playing a musical instrument, speech making, work requiring steady use of the voice, gardening, driving a car, and the other endless varieties of physical indulgences. Exercise. When engaging in a skill or activity which tires you, 1. Suddenly relax your whole face as you did in the laws of mental domination. Relax your brows, your jaws, and your lips. These always contract reflexly when you engage in any activity requiring strong or prolonged use of the muscles. Even at housekeeping, with your face relaxed, the other muscles of your body are ready to follow suit, also reflexly. Number 2, keep your face relaxed now and continue with your physical activity, but do each movement in it with the least amount of energy possible, but do it correctly. That in itself saves you considerable energy since it enables you to accomplish more with less effort. Hold your back correctly, in other words, your arms correctly, your legs correctly, and if you are speaking, your tongue correctly and your throat relaxed. 3. Keep each repeated movement exactly the same. The more so, the better. That alone tremendously economizes your energy expenditure. When runners do so, they repeat over and over again exactly the same length of step. Indulge in no novelty or variety now. Do each repeated movement in exactly the same amount of time. This is possible when you do it exactly the same each time. Do not try to hurry it nor to slow it down. Just do it exactly the same each time, with your face thoroughly relaxed. That alone prevents you from hurrying, for when you hurry, you instinctively tense your face. If you prevent your face from tensing, though, it reflexly discourages any tendency on the part of your conscious or subconscious minds to speed you up. 5. Keep right on now, feeling your body entering into this contented flowing rhythm, and do not change it no matter what disturbances come your way. Ignore all outside influences, whether they are noises, overheard conversations, a time of day, or an unpleasant odor. 6. Follow these several steps exactly as described with any physical activity you engage in, not one which you are just beginning to learn, and you will permanently apply muscle rhythm. They will give your blood vessels enough time to quickly remove your accumulating fatigue products before they pile up. In conclusion, these are the three ways and means of quickly removing your muscle accumulating fatigue products. Use them only 1% as perfectly as the psychic master, in addition to prolonging muscle tone indefinitely, and you will be astounded to what degree your physical endurance will increase. You are now ready for part 3, external cyclomancy. All the power of your primitive autoconscious, which you have developed up to now, deals with your own mind and body. In part 3, you will project these powers outside your body. And that is the end of lesson 7 of Cyclomancy, The Secret of Psychic Power Control by Frank Rudolph Young. Read by the God, JBenzTheLight. You feel me? Know what I'm saying? Now, this is the part of the live where I get to talk my shit now. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I get to talk my shit now. Let's go with y'all, man. So I hope y'all enjoyed that lesson. Now, all my people who enjoyed the lesson as well as enjoyed the series, enjoying the series and stuff, please leave a like as well as a comment and also subscribe to my channel too. Like I said before, in order to help me grow my page, help me with the algorithm and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because this is stuff I love, man. I love anything and all things that have to do with the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Anything and everything that has to do with the spirit, metaphysics, esoteric science, the occult, history, you know what I'm saying? Black people, you know what I mean? That's what I'm all about. So, all that being said, man, I'm finna end this live. And in the next episode, in the next live, we will be going over lesson 8, lesson 8 of Cyclomancy, which is how to use the astounding power of your brain horns and put it under psychic power control. You know what I'm saying? Now, understand this though, my people, that some thoughts I was having from that previous lesson that I just read, that we just went over together, that I just read, is just like this: is understanding that the gist of what he was saying, I feel like, is understanding the spirituality behind fitness and working out. And what I mean by that is this: understand that fitness and working out, it transcends it transcends just the physical level. As in, fitness and working out is a very mental thing. It's mostly mental, really and honestly, truly. Because say you lifting a weight that is light to you and you know you can lift it, you know what I mean? Then it's really nothing at all to lift it. It's not much energy or effort being used to lift this weight. Now, say it's a heavy weight that you could only do maximum like 3 reps or 5 reps on. Then those 5 reps, you putting out a certain amount of energy and effort in doing it. Now, say you get to 5 reps, right? And you want to push out another one, but that last rep is like, it feel like you lifting up a whole house off your body. Let's say you're on a bench press. It feel like you lifting up a whole house off your body. Now, in this moment right here is all really mental. Your mental right now in this moment is key, because in this moment right here, where you on that last rep and it feel like you lifting up a house, you tell yourself in your mind, push, 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 let's go. Don't quit. I got this. Let's go. Push that shit. Push that shit. You know what I'm saying? You keep telling yourself, let's go. We're not putting this shit down. Let's go. We ain't quitting. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You give yourself that motivation, and you give your own spirit, your own body that motivation. You're talking to the trillions of different cells which make up who you are and telling them, yo, we pushing this shit out. We not done. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you're gonna find that you're gonna have the energy, you're gonna have that power to push out that next rip 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Or you may fail the lift. And if you fail the lift, you can't push out that last rep, then you'll probably you we would have went a lot farther than if you had a fucked up mindset and you was talking shit to your own self like, oh nah, I'm cooked. Oh nah, I don't got it. I don't got it. Like if you telling yourself, oh no, I don't got it, then shit. Next thing you know, that weight falling on your body. And you gotta get somebody to come help you out or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what happens. That's what happens. So I feel like the gist really of what this lesson was about was understanding that your own reality that you tell yourself, you speak to yourself, and they think is everything. Your mental, your spirit is the ruler of the physical. The spirit is the ruler of the physical. I'm saying everything is first or unseen before it is physical or the seen. So for that simple fact, when you understand how to use your mind, as in how to motivate your own self, how to be self motivated, how to talk to yourself in a certain way that brings out the power and the energy that you know that you have. The next thing you know, you're gonna be moving motherfucking mountains. You're gonna be moving mountains. How? It's because you tapping into what you always have had, but it's just that you put it to you like this. Put it to you like this. The root of all problems in the world or all problems with yourself in your life, it comes down really to one thing, really. And that one thing is your thinking. That ass. Think about everything. Think about all the issues and all the problems that you or other people have in their lives. 9 times out of no, 100 times out of 10, it all comes down to really one thing at the very foundation, at the root of it all, at the core of it all. And that is the thinking of either you or somebody else that is affecting you. You know what I mean? And even if it's somebody else affecting you, then it's still your thinking and the way that you're reacting and responding and cognizing whatever is happening to you. That in and of itself affects you in a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So learning how to, or rather practicing the habit of willing yourself to do all the different things that you know you really want to do, but like your mind and your body playing this trick on you where it's like, oh, I want to work out, but man, I don't really feel like doing this shit right now. I just feel like just kicking back and cooling. Then understand what you really want to do in your spirit is work out. You know you want to really work out, but your body is like, man, I don't feel like doing this shit. Son, is practicing the habit of overriding that, giving that spiritual override. Nah, nigga, we gonna motherfucking work out. We gonna get to it. You feel me? We gonna get to it and all that. So that's at least what I picked up from it. But with all that being said, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. Tune in to the next one. I want people who are watching the series, make sure that y'all tap into the previous lessons, lessons 1 through 6 that I did already. You know what I mean? And with that being said, man, leave any comments and or any thoughts that you have in the comments and whatnot. You feel me? And I want people that's watching on TikTok. I know only like 3 people on my TikTok, but hey, 3 people that's watching on TikTok right now at the moment, she is meant for y'all. It's meant for y'all to be seeing this. And also my people on TikTok, shout out my people on TikTok that follow me because I haven't posted any content on my TikTok in like at least a month, maybe like a month and a half. I ain't really been on this shit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all my people on TikTok that follow me, man. There you go, bro. But yeah, This was the reading of Lesson 7 of Cyclomancy, The Secret of Psychic Power Control by Frank Rudolph Young, read by the God, the High Priest, the Most High Chief Jah, JBenzTheLight. I mean, so that being said, man, tap in. I love y'all. Peace be to the gods on earth. Tap into the next episode. Tap it into the next one. And like I said before, we're going to go through the entire book, all 20 lessons of this text, from lesson 1 all the way to lesson 20, one by one. So one live for each lesson. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, peace be to the gods on earth. I'm out of here.